Hi everyone, it's John Hill, CEO for TechSage Solutions, right here on the strategic playing deck again. Cheers. Today, let's talk about what happens if you don't comply with CMMC requirements and achieve that CMMC level you need. First, the Department of Defense will not be able to award you any contracts, period. With the phased rollout built into 48 CFR, by phase 2, certification is a condition for award. No certification, no contract. Second, you have the legal exposure. If you misrepresent your compliance and you have a breach of some kind, or if a whistleblower reports you to the Department of Justice, you could face penalties under the False Claims Act. That means potential fines, investigations, and potentially a lot of reputational damage. Third, there's the supply chain risk. You're required to flow down the CMMC contract clauses to the lowest levels of subcontractors in your supply chain. So if a subcontractor fails to comply with the contract clauses, it falls right back on you. The DoD expects primes to hold their supply chain accountable for meeting all compliance requirements. And finally, there's the reputational damage. Even one breach of CUI information can destroy trust with the Department of Defense if it's proven to be willful negligence on the part of your company. The bottom line is failing CMMC isn't just about missing the opportunity to win contracts. With the 4-phase rollout, the risks escalate year after year with legal, financial, and reputational damage. Now, I've been hearing a lot of confusion about the CMMC phased rollout lately, so let's review that timeline again. Phase 1 starts November 10th, and that's just a couple of weeks from now. New DoD contracts begin requiring self-assessments and attestations for CMMC Level 1 and Level 2. In some cases, contracting officers will require third-party assessments and certification for Level 2, even in Phase 1. Phase 2 begins 12 months later in November 2026. Level 2 certifications by accredited third-party assessor organizations, or C3PAOs, become a requirement for most CMMC Level 2. Phase 3, beginning November 2027, contract awards, renewals, and extensions will require certifications too. More sensitive and higher risk projects may also demand CMMC Level 3 certification. And finally, in Phase 4, starting November 2028, at that point, every applicable DoD contract will require CMMC certification. No exceptions. Do you have questions about cybersecurity, compliance, or some other IT-related issues? Do you need help figuring out where you stand in all of this? Wondering whether to self-attest or go for full certification? If you'd like to schedule a short free consultation with me to discuss your business, please go to www.techsagesolutions.com. Let's talk soon. Until then, stay safe and try to avoid cybersecurity risk. Thanks for joining me today for my thoughts from the deck. If you found it useful, please feel free to share with your friends.